Hello everybody and welcome back to All Leeds TV and a Cardiff City preview. How good is it to hear those words? Absolutely buzzing to be back with the gang at All Leeds TV. I hope you all are doing really well. It's been tough, hasn't it, these past sort of, how many, 2 or 3 months now? It's been a pre-season, hasn't it? Leeds United have had, 11 weeks off? I think we have 11 to 12 weeks off in pre-season all the time, so it is mental. We've had essentially another pre-season to go into this game, to go into these final 9 games. If you haven't seen the videos that me and Joe have done, make sure you go check those out. Really good content, and it's sort of getting an understanding of where we're going to be going with this All Leeds TV schedule and the campaign and everything that's going to be going on till the end of next month, really. What have you guys been doing? Slap it in the comment section below. I know this is an All Leeds TV video, but what have you been doing? Have you been, you've been gardening? Have you been practicing your footy skills? Have you learnt new language? Have you learned any other new skills? Whack it in the comment section below. What I've been doing is setting up my own podcast. It's called the In Full Swing podcast, available on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. I'll get it up on the screen now. If you guys like your sport and life stories, delving into the psychology behind it, the drives, the motivations, go click on the link in the description. It's something that I've really been enjoying, and it's a little bit of a new venture I've taken as well, just to keep my mind stimulated in these 11 weeks. There's interviews with Tony DeRigos, Olympians, Paralympians, boxers, footballers, Premier League footballers. So it's all good on that front. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into All Leeds TV's content and the preview for Cardiff City. It feels a bit alien, me doing this, to be honest, because it feels like it's so long since I've done it, 12, 13 weeks now. Leeds United are going up against the Bluebirds. The Bluebirds, who I've always thought have a little bit of a hoodoo against Leeds United. A little bit of, especially under Warnock, they really had our number. And things have changed since then dramatically. Obviously, they've got rid of Neil Warnock, which I think was a bizarre decision anyway. I mean, why would you do that when you're coming into the Championship? I found that very strange. But they've now got Neil Warnock 2.0 in Neil Harris. The game that we played last time against them, I thought was phenomenal. For the first 65 minutes, I was there. And absolutely tremendous atmosphere at Ellen Road. And I thought that was going to be the turning point. A team that had come down from the Premier League, a team that has always been hardened. Neil Harrison has done a really good job with Millwall. He came in, you thought he was sort of going to copy the Neil Warnock philosophy, and he has. He genuinely has. It's the exact same Millwall for me. At Cardiff. See, you're even mixing it up because they're very sort of similar strategies, tactics, ways of playing, and we dealt with that really well. I thought it'd be hard, but we dealt with that. We played our football. Helder Costa had a brilliant game. Bamford had a really good game, scored as well. So it was all rosy. The 65th minute hit, and the anxiety of the crowd, you could feel it. And that is another thing that we're going to learn from this last 9 games. Is the anxiety factor gonna sort of dissipate with Leeds, because there's no home crowd there, and a lot of other teams are thinking Leeds are gonna bottle it, all this sort of stuff. But on the In Full Swing podcast, my other podcast, I spoke to Tony DeRigo, and Tony DeRigo said to me that he's spoken to the players, and no other team has worked as hard as Leeds United in this off season. No team. He said they've been training 6 days a week. And they've had 1 day off. And on that day off, the players have still been doing their active training at home, which is phenomenal. All the teams, all 25 of the players have beaten their initial times from pre-season last year. They've beaten their times. It's a phenomenal feat, and it looks like Leeds are fit, ready and healthy to go into these last 9 games. But Cardiff, they can pose a problem. I really like Lee Tomlin. I'm not comparing him to Jack Grealish, but for Cardiff, he's their equivalent at a much lower level. He's very good on the ball. He's never been the fittest player, but technically, he's a very good player, and he can get Cardiff moving. He's been injured for quite a while now, so Cardiff haven't really been able to get that creativity in the CAM, sort of CM role, and they've struggled with that. I know the strikers have struggled a little bit for not feeding off that service, but let's not make any bones about it. Respect to all Cardiff, respect to all Cardiff fans as well. But I don't think that team, I was watching a couple of highlights against Brentford. They played Brentford at home, and they should have beaten Brentford. Brentford, a very similar team to us, play the ball on the ground. They've got individual quality. They work well as a unit, a good coach. and they battered them, and that was at the Cardiff City Stadium, and it wasn't long ago. They outplayed them, and it should have been 4 or 5-2. Brentford ended up getting out of it with a 2-2 draw, but it was the Cardiff way of playing. It is the long throws. It is Will Volks with those long throws, and then you've either got maybe Glatzel, Rawls, Joe Rawls, or maybe even a Lee Tomlin picking up the pieces in and around that 6-yard to 18-yard box. So they're no mugs at all. We know that. And, it was a very different Cardiff as well. Neil Harris had just come in back then, and we were absolutely in the flow of things. So they came back, and that was Harris's first proper result, I think, as Cardiff manager, coming back and proving the doubters wrong that, he can do maybe something a little bit different to Warnock. But as I said earlier in the video, it seems to be that same blueprint of Neil Warnock. It is the long throws. It is the aerial assault. It is sort of maybe the lack of sort of ball playing. It's, the utilisation of height, which is what Cardiff do extremely well. On the video that I was talking to Joe, whose video is going to be out very soon, presumably, I said that we can't get drawn into it. We cannot get drawn into playing their game. That's what we did last time. So Cardiff play us at our game, they will lose 8 days of the week. We play Cardiff at their game, we will lose 8 days of the week. Is that, you can go to those extremes. It's ridiculous. So we start playing hoofball, we start trying to win the headers, and you saw that last time, with the likes of Struitt coming on for Leeds and us trying to change our philosophy a little bit of panic in the air, and it all changed. It dissipated in front of our eyes. Leeds we were on the back foot for the last 30 minutes, really, and we still had chances. But what I'm trying to say is I've seen a lot of Leeds fans overlooking this fixture. But let's be right, Cardiff, let's say if you look at a comparative with Brentford, they were really, really unlucky with Brentford at home. So I draw comparisons on Brentford because of, our similarities in playing, but there is no doubt about it. Leeds United should be winning this game. There is not 18,000 Welshmen voicing their support for Cardiff, but at the same time, there's not 4,000 or 5,000 Leeds fans down there voicing their support. But the anxiety factor at home has been an issue for Leeds in years. You look at back in 2001. I was saying to Joe the other day when we were absolutely flying and the anxiety built in. Man United ended up winning the league. 05, 06. When we get to the Millennium Stadium and it's covered in Leeds fans. There's only about 20,000 Watford fans. 09, 10 when we played Bristol Rovers on the final day of the season. It didn't have to get to the final day of the season, but Leeds got battered by Swindon and we made it go to the last day of the season. So last season as well, Derby, Villa, Wigan, Sheffield United, Norwich. What I'm trying to say, guys, is the anxiety of the crowd does play a factor at Ellen Road. It definitely does, because we demand so much as fans. We need to be back up there. And I think that being taken out is a big plus for Leeds, home and away. Home and away, I think it's going to be a big advantage for Leeds not having the crowd there, because it's going to be football against football. There is no external factors. The only external factor I can really think of is the fact that, Leeds have to travel down to Wales, and we're going to have to do it twice in 9 games. So that's the issue. Another external factor might be the fact that, we're going to be playing in numerous fixtures after Brentford and after Fulham. But I did a little bit of a table predictor as well, which I'll put in the link in the description below. I put it out on Twitter as well, of where I think Leeds will end up. You can predict other results and stuff like that, so I'll put that on screen now. And I think, in these predictor results, I had us losing to Swansea, I had us losing to Cardiff. I was extremely critical on Leeds, and the reason behind that was because I wanted to see how much we could really slip up. And if we did slip up, how many would need to win? Well, in my predictor, I believe, if you can see it on screen, we still we still got promoted. I think we came behind West Brom, but we still got promoted by about sort of 9-10 points. So, you could put a loss in there against Blackburn, for instance. So what I'm trying to say is, I think with the running, we get a win against Fulham, which I think we will, and I think we'll win sort of 3 or 4 other games. I think we're going to be promoted. I'm really confident. If we had the crowd there, ironically, I don't know if I would be as confident, which is crazy, because 35, 40,000 Leeds fans roaring us on. You think that would help us, but I do think wearing that white shirt, wearing this shirt, is a massive burden for a lot of players, and I can understand it. Huge following at home, huge following away, huge one city club. So I can completely understand it, and I think that got to us last year. I was listening to a podcast recently. Adam Forshaw essentially came out and said that. He said it got to us last year. the pressure did get to us. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but that's sort of what he said. So it's definitely a factor. So I'm actually really happy about that. But yeah, I'm really excited to get back underway with the season. I think when we get that first win, which will come, it will come, I do think that we will be on our way. And, you know, I think the most important thing is to not play into other teams' philosophies. So, for example, this weekend, you know, just play our way. We play our way, we'll win the game. That is it. And, you know, we always say that, don't we? But I'm not bothered about scoring 3 or 4 goals a match, which I think previously I've been annoyed because we've not taken our chances even when we've won the game. I just want to win the game now. I want to win the game, however hard it's going to be. And, you know, you look at the fixtures, this is no disrespect, but Luton at home, Barnsley at home, Charlton at home, you know, for me, there should be 3 wins there, for example. And then the others have just got to follow. They really have. They're going to be more difficult games. You know, we've got a clustering of the middle table teams, you know, your Derbys, your Blackburns, your Cardiffs. We've got a cluster of them who will be vying to try get in the playoffs, so they're not going to be easy games. Teams at the bottom naturally are not going to be easy games with 9 games to go. And, you know, you hark back to Wigan last year for us, even Luton away this year wasn't easy. So no game in this division is easy, and I think it's naive to go out there and think because we're a good footballing side, we're going to win 9 out of 9. That just doesn't happen in the Championship. 5 out of 5 was incredible. It really was. That doesn't normally happen. You know, I can think of Sheffield United and Norwich doing it last season consistently. So if we want to be on that level, that's the blueprint, you know, getting to that level where consistency breeds success, which it does. It's been proven in so many seasons now. We can do that because we're good enough. And I want to finish this season. I don't want to finish, as I've said, with an asterisk next to our name, you know, points per game and all that waffle. I don't want that. I want us to go up. But I want us to go up as champions as well, because I think being the best footballing team this division has probably ever seen. Wolves were an absolute machine. They were a good footballing team, but they had talent in bucket loads come from the Portuguese league. You know, Ruben Neves in the Championship. It's ridiculous, that sort of level of player they had. Willy Bolly in the Championship. Whereas we've had to develop players and improve players and get them from maybe a 3 or a 4 to an 8 and a 9. And I think that project is something that should be revered sort of globally, because what Marcelo Bielsa has done with players like Dallas, players like Ayling, players like Cooper, has been absolutely astronomical. Players who were average Championship players are now at the top of their game. Calvin Phillips, you know, we all preferred Ronaldo Vieira. Let's not kid ourselves. When Ronaldo Vieira was here under the likes of Christensen. But Calvin Phillips is just, what an unbelievable player. We've not gone out of our way and spent millions and millions and bought the league. Like, for example, a Wolves. You know, we've developed players and we're playing our way now. And I think that deserves to win the league, and it deserves to win the league at a canter. You know, we still don't have the money of West Brom. We still don't have the money of Fulham, probably even Cardiff. But we've done it our way, and we've done it the right way. We've done it the old-fashioned way of developing players through a manager, which not many clubs do anymore, especially at Championship level. So I'm absolutely stoked for this weekend, guys. Please, if you've enjoyed it, I'm back. We're back. Slap a like on the video. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel as well. I know Joe and Oscar are going to be sending their previews out very, very soon. And yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm just excited to be back. You know, Leeds are on the telly again. I know we're not going to be going down to Ellen Road. And please as well, I saw a post go out on Twitter as well. Who's going to be down at Ellen Road? Please don't go down to Ellen Road. Please don't go down to Ellen Road. It's stupid. It's insensitive. It's naive. And it's not respectful. And with everything going on at the minute, just adhere to the public guidelines, watch it with loved ones on the telly, and then when all this is over, we can all congregate in Leeds City Centre, get the bottles of champagne, get the Leeds flags out, and celebrate promotion together. So as I say, guys, if you haven't checked the In Full Swing podcast out and it sounds like it's something up your street, that will be in the link in the description below. Make sure you've checked out all the guys' content. We'll be live streaming the game as well at the weekend as well. The Football Content Awards, I think they're called now, not the Football Blogging Awards. We've been nominated again. We were shouted out by the club, which got us, it did. I don't know which one I'm doing. There we go, that's better. Which got me deep, it really did, because, you know, being signed off by the club is something that, it's a dream, innit? So they tweeted out for us the other day. So yeah, that link will be in the description below as well. So make sure you vote for us in that. And hopefully we can bring promotion home and the bacon home from the Football Content Awards. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in a bit.